by the area chief and sub-chief, when the chief directed that the church be allocated 1,000 acres instead of the 75 acres that the community had identified. That due to the differences between the area chief and the Marungu area elders on the acreage to be allocated for the Holy Rosary Catholic Church at a meeting held in 2007, the exercise was not concluded, and since then a meeting to allocate the church the piece of land has never been held. That in the year 2019, the mission constructed a church in the area they were to be allocated, and further sank a borehole in the year 2021. F, that in 2023, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development set up an adjudication scheme known as Ngoloki Adjudication Scheme, covering Marungu area. The adjudication scheme did not adjudicate on approximately 1,000 acres in the area for reasons that it belongs to the Holy Rosary Catholic Church Mission and that the land had been adjudicated. G, that the decision to allocate the church 1,000 acres was made without involving the residents of Marungu area and that the initial occupants of the said land are facing eviction. That the petitioners have made efforts to have this matter addressed by relevant authorities, in this case, the National Lands Commission, which has failed to give a response to their concerns. The petitioners therefore pray that the Senate intervenes in this matter with a view of establishing the rightful owner of the 1,000 acres of land in Marungu and recommend that ownership of the land be reverted to the community. Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 237, I will allow comments, observation, clarification in regard to this petition for not more than 30 minutes. Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to take the first bite on this petition from Taita Taveta. The Speaker, Taita Taveta County is a neighbor to the lower eastern region counties of Kitui, Machakos, and Makueni. And for that reason, the Speaker, we have a lot of people from my community who are settled in Taita Taveta. I want to say two things about this petition, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker, ideally, when people are being evicted or uprooted from their land that they own, oust them on their land. Mr. Speaker, I pray that this petition finds serious consideration in the Committee of Lands. But Mr. Speaker, as this matter is also being looked into, I would want to invite the committee to look at several other land cases, especially in Makueni and in Kitui, for residents who are forcibly
Honorable Senator, there is a lot of movement in the chamber. Kindly take your seats.
The Speaker, Senator Cheragai, is not heeding to the call of the Speaker to take his seat.
Senator Chirangai, kindly proceed to your seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that this committee should extend their investigation to a land matter in Makueni and Kitui counties on the eviction, I'll call it eviction, of residents from Athi, from Kibwezi to Athi to Ikudha, Mutomo, Kitui, Kabati, Migwani. People's land has been taken to pave way for the construction of a superhighway. And the compensation to those people, Mr. Speaker, to date has not happened. So as the committee looks into this matter of the land in Taita Taveta, which is our neighbor, then the compensation for those people who have paved the way for the road construction should also be looked into. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cheriot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a strange petition. Strange in the sense that on many occasions, people run to the church and seek refuge there. What I'm reading about the Marungu residents in Mchange Mwanda Ward in Taita Taveta County is a bit strange, because it's the church against the people, and the church and the people are supposed to be one and the same. And therefore, I want to call upon the department, or rather the committee in charge of lands, to keenly listen to the cries of these people. You know, Mr. Speaker, one of the campaign pledges of Kenya Kwanza is that there shall never be evictions, as used to be the order of the day during the infamous handshake days, Mr. Speaker. You remember that even amidst COVID, many citizens used to be kicked out of their homes, and many such things used to happen. We said we must give dignity to even those that are least endowed economically amongst ourselves. And I believe that these citizens will not have looked up to the Senate if they were well established, if they had the connections to reach my good friend the Senator of Kisumu, who would have put up a case for them, and many such things that other well-endowed citizens normally do. But they have looked up to the House of Representatives, which is the Senate, and I believe that in here they'll find justice. This is not to castigate the church, because I believe, you know, the book of Proverbs, Mr. Speaker, if you're a good reader of the Bible, tells you that when you listen to the first to speak in court, you'd think how evil the accused are until they too get a chance to speak. That is old ancient wisdom which I want to guide the Committee of Lands as they listen to this petition, because it will be important to understand from the Holy Rosary Catholic Church what exactly is their thinking, what is the nature of the dispute, did they pay for this land, and any such matters that may arise. And this is one such petition that sometimes, Mr. Speaker, you don't do justice to if you listen to it just here in the plenary. In the plenary, you get the documentation, but the public hearing and the establishment of facts. You ensure that you get onto your vehicles or whatever means of travel, drive all the way to Mwanda Ward in Taita Taveta, Mr. Speaker, and listen to those people so that you can find and establish the truth about what is it that they seek from this Senate. And I believe that in the long run, Mr. Speaker, justice will be served to them. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this chance.
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this petition. Clearly, the land question is a question that would commend listening to both parties, and especially where the church is involved, Mr. Speaker, sir. This is not a case, this is a case that would involve eviction within the law. That is one. But two, would also include considering questions of adverse possession and questions of ensuring that one was evicted from the land parcel that they occupy and are now living as squatters in a place they've known as home. Since their birth. I will bring a similar petition which mirrors the same petition that we have today, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the land question in this country must be taken seriously. Land is not only an emotive issue, it is at the very center of life. And it is important that the agencies that deal with land take community problems and community complaints seriously. I pray, Mr. Speaker, sir, that this petition be committed and that the Land Committee, chaired by my friend Senator Methu, ensure that this petition is treated with the seriousness it deserves. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have another problem, a parcel of land neighboring the airport in Kisumu County, where the community has the question of ownership, and they've kept complaining over who